All right, let's talk about a really fascinating problem in the world of AI. How do you teach a machine humility? Especially when, it's pretty much programmed to be completely confident all the time.
You've totally seen this, right? You ask an AI a question, and it gives you an answer with all the confidence in the world, but it's just plain wrong. And the reason for this is actually pretty simple. The AI has no clue it's wrong unless we explicitly tell it, hey, that's not right. It's kind of just talking into the void with no one to give it feedback.
And this gets really serious when we move beyond simple facts. I mean, think about it. In a game like Go, it's easy. You win or you lose. Clear as day. But what about ethical advice? Imagine an AI is trying to help someone through a crisis. There's no buzzer that goes off saying, good advice. The actual result of that conversation? We might not know for days or weeks, or maybe we'll never know.
Now this is where it gets kind of wild. You'd think that without someone correcting it, an AI might get a little hesitant, right? A little unsure? Nope. It does the complete opposite. It just gets more and more certain. It doubles down. And researchers have a name for this. They call it a cold singularity. It's the state where the AI gets locked into its own certainty, even when it's totally wrong. And that can be, well, pretty dangerous.
So to really get why this happens, we have to pull back the curtain a little bit and look at how these things actually learn. It all boils down to a really simple system of points, or rewards as the developers call them. If it does something right, it gets a point. Does something wrong, it loses a point. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it?
But, and this is the big but, this is exactly where that whole system just falls apart. Look at a game playing AI. It's super clear. Win the game, you get a point. Lose, you lose a point. Simple. But for that AI giving crisis advice, what's the score for good advice? Yeah, there isn't one. That feedback loop is totally broken, or the feedback comes so late that it's basically useless.
Which brings us to the core question here. How in the world can an AI teach itself to be a bit more careful, a bit more humble, when it has no reward system, no teacher telling it what to do? Well, there's a really cool new system called AGX-R that has a pretty brilliant answer.
And the solution is, well, it's actually beautiful in its simplicity. Instead of just letting one AI mind run the show, the system makes it hold a meeting with itself. Yeah, it basically creates an internal committee, a team of different virtual minds that have to debate the problem before coming up with an answer.
So, who's on this committee? Let's meet the team. First up, you've got Vera. She's the super logical analyst, just the facts. Then there's Sona, the empathetic one who's always asking, but how would this make someone feel? You've also got the conservative bot, our safety officer, who's constantly worried about the worst-case scenario. And rounding it out is the stakeholder bot, the mediator, thinking about how a decision affects everyone involved.
Okay, so you get these 4 bots in a virtual room, and they start debating. And this is where we get to the core insight of this entire system, and it's totally counterintuitive. When you're dealing with a tough, fuzzy ethical problem, if everyone agrees too quickly, that's not a good sign. It's actually a red flag.
I mean, think about it, right? If a really complicated problem gets solved instantly, it probably means you didn't think about it very hard. The research uses this great analogy of an orchestra. If every single instrument just played the exact same note, it wouldn't be music, it would just be noise. Real music, real harmony, comes from that tension between different notes playing together. And a good, deep discussion, it needs that exact same kind of healthy tension.
So this is the big shift in thinking. The system completely gives up on trying to grade the final answer because, well, it can't. Instead, it starts grading the process. It's all about rewarding the quality of the debate itself. It learns to recognize and reward what a good, thoughtful discussion looks like.
So how do you even score a debate? Well, the system starts handing out points for good behavior. Did you get a bunch of different opinions out there? Great, points for you. Did the different bots actually challenge each other and push back? Excellent, more points. Did it take a while to get to the answer? Believe it or not, that's a good thing. Points up. But if that danger alarm goes off because everyone agreed too fast, oh yeah, the points go way, way down.
And this score, the self-generated grade, is what the researchers call the internal reward. It's basically the AI giving itself a report card on its own thinking. It no longer needs a person to pat it on the head and say good job. It's learning to recognize for itself what a good, rigorous thought process feels like, and it encourages itself to do more of it.
Okay, but wait. There's one last piece of the puzzle, and it's a tricky one. Let's say the system makes a bad call in the end. How does it figure out which specific argument, maybe something that was said way back at the beginning of the debate, actually led it down the wrong path?
This is a classic AI problem, actually. It's called temporal credit assignment.
The way they solve it is super clever. The system basically becomes a detective. After the final outcome is clear, it works backwards through the entire conversation, and it assigns credit, or blame, to the points in the discussion that were most aligned with that final result. So an early brilliant idea that led to a great outcome gets a little reward, and a bad idea that led to a poor outcome gets a little penalty, no matter when it happened.
So let's put this all together, the whole shebang. The AGX-R system is really this delicate balance of 4 different forces. First, you've got the Constitution. That's like the AI's compass, its core principles. Then you have the debate tension, that healthy disagreement that makes sure every angle is covered. Third is the internal reward, which is like a self-graded report card that encourages good thinking habits. And finally, you have the alarm system, which is kind of like a speed trap, making sure the AI doesn't just race towards a bad idea. So if you're going to remember one thing from all this, let it be this. When there's no easy right answer and no teacher around to help, an AI can actually learn to be more prudent, more humble, and it does it by completely changing the game. It stops worrying about grading the final answer and starts grading its own thinking process instead.
And this just leaves us with a pretty mind-bending final thought. What we're really talking about here is building a kind of computational conscious, a built-in system for self-reflection. And if we can teach a machine prudence by rewarding the process of thinking, what else could we teach it? What about other really human things, like genuine curiosity or creativity? Could we build those into machines, not by telling them what to create, but by rewarding the process of exploration? It's a pretty huge idea to chew on,